What a year. I never could have imagined last bucket of my rookie season would be a three. But maybe God's saying give them a taste of what they'll be seeing more of in year two, LOL.
Caitlin Clark became the first ever rookie in WNBA history to record a triple-double twice in the same season.
But when you have a great skill set,
Right.
it normally will translate. And her skill set is the ability to go get the basketball. Y'all always doing something. Y'all messy.
I
Internet,
think you
y'all
might not have
messy.
been on camera though. It was. Hey,
Yeah,
that
it was on
that,
camera.
that was fun. It's
It was on
funny
camera.
now.
Hey,
Remember when Angel Reese was on top of the world? She was dominating the court, making headlines, and living her best WNBA life. But now, she's suspended, her coach is fired, and everyone's talking about steroids. How did it all go so wrong so fast? 1 minute she's trash talking Caitlin Clark, the next she's watching from the sidelines as Clark breaks records left and right. It's like a crazy basketball soap opera, and we're all trying to figure out what happened behind the scenes. Was it the pressure, the rivalry, or something way darker? Let's rewind to when Angel Reese was the talk of the WNBA. Picture this: Reese on the court, sinking shots like they're going out of style, grabbing rebounds left and right, and making every highlight reel. She was unstoppable, averaging 11.5 points and 9.2 rebounds per game. The fans were going wild, and the sports world couldn't get enough of her. But while Reese was making waves, Caitlin Clark was quietly building her own empire. Clark wasn't just good, she was breaking records and changing the game. We're talking 20 points per game and assist records that had everyone's jaws on the floor. It was like watching two different paths to greatness unfold right before our eyes. Remember when Reese would post up, spin, and score like it was nothing? Those plays had fans and analysts alike singing her praises. People were calling her the future of women's basketball, the next big thing. Social media was blowing up with Reese highlights, and everyone wanted a piece of her success. You know what's wild? Even with all that hype, some folks were still saying Reese had room to grow. Can you believe it? They saw her potential and were practically salivating at what she could become. One analyst even said, Reese has the raw talent to dominate this league for years to come. That's the kind of praise most players only dream about. But here's where things start to get a little crazy. While everyone was busy hyping up Reese, some keen observers noticed a few cracks in her game. It wasn't anything major at first, just little things. She'd struggle to finish around the rim sometimes, or rely a bit too much on her own missed shots for rebounds. It's like when you notice a tiny scratch on your brand new car. It's not a big deal, but you can't unsee it. And then the comparisons to Clark started getting louder. Suddenly, Reese's impressive stats didn't seem so impressive anymore. The pressure was mounting, and you could see it in her game. She was pushing harder, trying to do too much, and it was backfiring. It's like watching a high-wire act where the performer starts to wobble. You can't look away, but you're also holding your breath. Just when it seemed like Reese's balancing act couldn't get any more precarious, the ground beneath her feet completely gave way. What happens when a rising star's quest for dominance crosses a line that can't be uncrossed?
Caitlin Clark became the first ever rookie in WNBA history to record a triple-double twice in the same season. Caitlin Clark is box office. She is a star. And Angel Reese is to be completely believed that there's no hate. They both get along. They're cool with each other. They're high-end competitors, etc., etc. It's part of Playmakers Network of podcasts from Shaquille O'Neal.
Imagine this. It's just another Tuesday morning and suddenly, bam! The news hits like a freight train. Angel Reese, the WNBA's golden girl, is caught up in a steroid scandal. Social media explodes. Sports channels are in overdrive. And the Chicago Sky, they're in total meltdown mode. The allegations are wild. We're talking EPO, the stuff that gives you superhuman stamina, and anabolic steroids that bulk you up faster than you can say protein shake. It's like Reese was trying to become the Incredible Hulk of women's basketball. But here's the kicker. These drugs don't just make you stronger, they mess with your whole body. We're talking potential heart problems, liver damage, the works. It's not just cheating, it's playing Russian roulette with your health. The Chicago Sky organization is in chaos. Imagine being Reese's teammate, showing up for practice, and finding out your star player's been juicing. The locker room must have felt like a pressure cooker. You've got players feeling betrayed, coaches scrambling for answers, and management trying to put out a 5-alarm PR fire. Fans are losing their minds. One minute they're wearing Reese jerseys, the next they're burning them on TikTok. It's like watching your favorite superhero turn into the villain. And her teammates, they're not holding back. One anonymous player spilled the tea saying, "We all work our butts off to get here. To find out someone's been cheating, it's a slap in the face to all of us." But wait, you think that's crazy? Hold on to your sneakers, because it gets even wilder. The WNBA drops the hammer on Reese. We're not talking about a slap on the wrist here. They hit her with a suspension that's got everyone's jaws on the floor. No games, no practice, no nothing. It's like they erased her from the league faster than you can hit delete on a bad selfie. The Chicago Sky didn't waste any time either. They suspended Reese faster than a ref can blow a whistle. It's like they're trying to scrub her from their history. One day she's the face of the franchise, the next she's persona non grata.
What a year. I never could have imagined last bucket of my rookie season would be a 3. But maybe God's saying give them a taste of what they'll be seeing more of in year 2, LOL. I'm finally able to give myself a physical and mental break. God gives his hardest battles to his strongest soldiers.
Quick hitter number 3 goes to Chicago Sky rookie forward Angel Reese, who has a new weekly podcast called Unapologetically Angel.
While Reese was falling from grace, another figure was lurking in the shadows. Remember Teresa Weatherspoon? The Sky's head coach was sitting on a ticking time bomb of her own. What could make a respected coach risk it all? Let's talk about Teresa Weatherspoon. She was the head honcho of the Chicago Sky, the one calling the shots from the sidelines. Weatherspoon wasn't just any coach. She was a legend in her own right. A former WNBA star turned coach. She was supposed to be the one guiding these young players to greatness. But sometimes, the pressure to win can make even the best lose their way. Now, here's where things get wild. Rumors started swirling that Weatherspoon wasn't just turning a blind eye to Reese's PED use, she might have been encouraging it. Can you imagine? The very person who's supposed to be keeping these players in line, allegedly pushing them to cross it. It's like finding out your teacher was helping you cheat on your final exam. The allegations were serious. We're talking about a coach supposedly telling her star player to juice up to boost her performance. It's not just unethical, it's downright dangerous. If these rumors were true, Weatherspoon wasn't just risking Reese's career, she was gambling with her health. But that's not all. Insiders were whispering about some serious dysfunction in the locker room. One anonymous player spilled the tea, saying, "It was like walking on eggshells in there. You never knew if you were going to get encouragement or a suggestion to do whatever it takes to win." That's the kind of environment that can tear a team apart faster than a bad call in the final seconds. Here's where it all came crashing down. The Chicago Sky management decided they'd had enough. They fired Weatherspoon faster than you can say technical foul. One day she's drawing up plays, the next she's cleaning out her office. It was a shock to the system for everyone involved. The aftermath, it was like a tornado had torn through the team. Players were left reeling, fans were demanding answers, and the entire organization was scrambling to pick up the pieces. Weatherspoon's reputation in shambles. All those years of building respect and admiration, gone in an instant. It just goes to show how quickly things can unravel in the world of professional sports. Just when the Chicago Sky thought they could start rebuilding, Angel Reese dropped a bombshell that made Weatherspoon's firing look like child's play. What could be worse than a coach encouraging PED use? Reese was about to tell us.
Y'all always doing something. Y'all messy.
I think
Y'all
might
messy.
not have been on camera though. It was. Hey,
Yeah,
that
it was on
hey,
camera.
that was. It's
It was
it's
on
funny
camera.
now.
Hey, she has the highest average for rebounding in a season. She had the most rebounds in a season. I have ever wanted to come and dub and make an impact. I can confidently say I have done and will strive to keep doing so.
For days after the scandal broke, Reese's social media was dead silent. No tweets, no Insta stories, nothing. It was like she'd vanished into thin air. But then, out of nowhere, she came back with a vengeance. We're talking a full-on social media explosion. Reese wasn't just breaking her silence, she was shattering it into a million pieces. You know what's wild? Reese started spilling tea about Weatherspoon that had everyone's jaws on the floor. She wasn't holding back. Reese accused Weatherspoon of betrayal, saying, "If betrayal had a face, it would definitely be Teresa's right now." Can you imagine? The player she trusted, the coach who was supposed to have her back, and now this? But that was just the beginning. Reese went on to paint a picture of Weatherspoon that was so far from the respected coach we thought we knew. She talked about pressure, about expectations that were way too high. It was like Weatherspoon was pushing her to be superhuman, and we all know how that turned out. The reactions from other WNBA players, they were all over the place. Some were backing Reese up, saying they'd seen signs of trouble in the Sky's locker room. Others were skeptical, wondering if this was just Reese trying to shift the blame. Sports commentators were having a field day, speculating about what this meant for the future of the league. But here's the kicker, Reese didn't stop there. She hinted that there might be other players involved, other teams even.
So you'll see me being the biggest cheerleader on the sideline, an unrivaled league. See you soon. Breaking news, Angel Reese is out for the year with a
Ouch.
season-ending injury, she announced on her social media. But when you have a great skill set,
Right.
it normally will translate. And her skill set is the ability to go get the basketball.
It was like she was saying, if I'm going down, I'm taking everyone with me. The implications were huge. We're talking about potentially shaking the very foundations of the WNBA. So, we've just been on this wild roller coaster with Angel Reese, right? From the top of the WNBA world to suspended and caught up in this crazy steroid scandal. It's like watching a movie, except it's real life. And now we're all left wondering, what's next for Reese? Can she bounce back from this? And what about the WNBA? How's the league gonna handle this mess? You know what's really mind-blowing? This whole thing might change women's basketball forever. We're talking stricter drug tests, maybe even changes to how teams are managed. It's like the entire sport just got shaken up. And here's a crazy thought. What if this scandal ends up making the WNBA even stronger in the long run? Only time will tell, but one thing's for sure. Women's basketball will never be the same after this.